From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
Breaking news tonight on Evenings LALATE. Coinbase becomes the first major crypto opening on Wall Street, having its initial public offering today. Meantime, $1,400 third stimulus checks continue to land in bank accounts today for veterans. This comes as the news about the producer price index and conflicting economic news across the board over the last few days. But guess what? The push is underway for fourth stimulus, and that's monthly stimulus checks, the biggest payout that viewers of this channel would ever see. The fourth stimulus monthly stimulus checks would go by reconciliation. In this recording, I go over those details as well. Also, I go over new data that came in today about Moderna, about a booster shot coming this fall, new recommendations from CDC about how to deal with Johnson & Johnson. Elsewhere, is there an economic boom underway? Well, Goldman Sachs reported blowout earnings for Q1 2021. And also, Wells Fargo did the same. Meantime, this channel expands its coverage into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency with our new shows on Coin LALATE. In this recording, we go over the exciting also details about that Coinbase IPO today. But is there a risk of a summer dip at Bitcoin and a winter surge for Bitcoin? Meantime, with Coinbase focusing on 50 plus currencies, does it have a risk of contractual transactional downside of the economy? I'll explain all that and more, as Bank of America says that 74% of the industry may be a bubble. Are they wrong? The toast is toasting. No, that's breakfast, LA. That's noontime, LA. The lobster is grilling. The $12 ice cream is jiggling. I'm here, you're here, and let's get to it on Evenings LA. Good evening, everybody. It's Evenings LALATE as we go into a big night with big financial news across the board about the third stimulus check, the fourth stimulus check, cryptocurrency, and major news on Wall Street among the bank stocks. How are you? It's a big night of Evenings LALATE with big financial news across the board. I'm so excited you would join me, and boy, it is a big day with a lot of data. The data started this morning with that big earnings reports from the two major banks, which shows growth in the economy. Does that derail or does that help for stimulus? I'll analyze that across the board in just a second. But if you've not become a member, become a member. The link is in the top of the chat and also in the pinned comment. This channel is now expanding its coverage so you're more informed and more educated about more items of the financial markets, better than even before. So become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. At least, however, become a subscriber. It's free to become a subscriber, and we're now in our 1 month anniversary later this month. I want you to be on the ride, and wow, the information you're getting from this channel is unlike any place else in broadcast media. The most comprehensive financial news you can get. Also, like this video. Let's try to do 2,000-3,000 likes. Well, the day started with the third stimulus check of veterans of the United States who got their direct deposit for stimulus check on their direct deposit accounts. This is likely, but not definitely, the last wave of third stimulus checks. Veterans had gotten them during the prior waves, but the remainder that had not gotten a stimulus check, I told you they would land today, April 14th. Well, they landed yesterday. Some got them yesterday, April 13th, but the remainder got it today. Direct express by Comerica, the big banks like Chase and B of A as well. So congratulations. Meantime, fourth stimulus is heating up. Fourth stimulus is that monthly stimulus check, and it needs to go by reconciliation. It will be an add-on by Democratic senators and Democratic House members when they get the infrastructure bill from the President of the United States. He's not putting stimulus checks in there. They are. And there's two paths to get that done. The paths involve two different mindsets. The House Democrats want to give you a monthly stimulus check for the rest of this year and 1 year after the pandemic's over. The House members instead want to do it till this December. The people at issue are slightly different. The House Democrats are progressives. They're junior members. They're new members to Congress. The senators are senior members. They have been in Congress for much of a generation or several generations. And then the amounts. The amounts are slightly different. The House members want to give you $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter. The senators haven't said the monthly amount. But word on the street from the senators is that it would be $2,000 a month over 6 months, which equates to $12,000. This is an individual. Or $14,000, $8,400 a month. This is an individual. This is likely to happen if they get it to reconciliation and they get it out the door. The important thing to know about this is it's impacted by speed. The faster they get this done, the more stimulus checks you get, but you don't want an economic rebound happening because that could derail the situation for you. And that data started today. The day started with incredible big news from Wall Street, and that Wall Street news came from the financial markets as it saw today as the earnings reports for Q1 2021 for the banks. And the major banks not only had a strong Q1 2021 of earnings, but they had a blowout quarter. The numbers came in this morning and they absolutely jaw-dropped, shocked the markets. They were not only strong, they crushed the projections. Let's look at how strong the market numbers were this morning. Wells Fargo's Q1 2021 earnings were reported this morning, and they came in at $1.05 a share. The earnings, the projections, was less than 50%. They nearly doubled the projection. Projected earnings were going to be at 0.70 a share. They came in at $1.05. They also had a revenue beat. And they were not alone. Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs reported Q1 2021 this morning. And my goodness, look at this blowout. Wall Street was estimating it was going to come in at earnings at $10.22 a share. It didn't come in at $10. It came in at nearly double that, $18.60 a share. Wow, these are just huge numbers. What does this mean for you? It means it's time to push Purple Power. You need to take these videos and share them on social media. Hashtag MSC, hashtag Purple Power. You need the bill into Congress as soon as possible because this economy is rebounding. If you don't recall, I don't usually go into these type of details, but if you don't recall, guess who was one of the major backers for President Biden during his run for president? The banks on Wall Street. So they're having a blowout quarter. He certainly sees they're having a blowout quarter. You want this bill in the Senate as soon as possible because the boom is underway. Meantime, the CDC and FDA continue to deal with how to address this fallout of the Johnson & Johnson. Today, the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices met to address the issue about Johnson & Johnson. Yesterday, Johnson & Johnson was halted because of concerns about blood clots in 6 of 7 million recipients. That caused Wall Street to initially trade down on the travel stocks. Yesterday, travel went down among hotels. Here's Marriott and Hilton yesterday morning. Carnival and Norwegian were down yesterday. And this is even as the CPI came in at blowout numbers. The Consumer Price Index on Monday had blowout numbers. Well, we had some other good news today. This is good news for reopening. Moderna has reported that this fall and winter, they will have the booster shot ready. What is the booster shot? Well, there's conflicting reports about how you view the situation. Some people say you need to get vaccinated every 6 months, but others say that the booster shot needs to be done within 6 months. The booster shot is a booster to protect you against the variants. And Moderna has been doing human trials for several months now, but they now confirm that the booster will be available this fall. Great news. So the day also featured really a big event across the board. But before we get to this excitement about Coinbase, let me come back to why these data and this information from the banks is so important for understanding the situation. Well, Wells Fargo's numbers literally just shocked people. Coming in at 105 in earnings per share considered versus 70 cents as expected. Revenue was a blowout. It was $18.06 billion versus $17.5 billion. And then the head of Wells Fargo spoke about it. Our results for the quarter, which included 1.6 billion pre-tax, continued focus on strategic priorities and ongoing support. But low interest rate and trebled loan demand continue to be a headwind in this quarter. Goldman Sachs also had enormously great numbers. Meantime, what will the CDC eventually do with the situation for Johnson & Johnson? They said, Dr. Fauci in a statement yesterday said, we're totally aware that this is a rare event. We want to get this worked out as quickly as possible as we can. You will see the world pause. In other words, we don't want to hold off a bit. We want to leave this up to the FDA to investigate it carefully. Meantime, Moderna is giving incredible great news and excitement for viewers across the country. Moderna's head CEO Stefan Barncel told News this morning, I want to make sure that the boosts are available in the fall so that we protect people going into next winter. I anticipate in the next year or so we're going to see a lot of variants, but as more and more people are vaccinated, then the pace of the variant will slow down and it'll stabilize, meaning that over time you won't have to get so many booster shots. It'll be a more one-year occurrence as we go forward. And there you go. What does this mean for you? Well, the economy is booming. And the economy is on all fire, is on full third gear, heading into second gear. It doesn't need a booster shot. The economy is on fire, and that ultimately, the faster you get these stimulus checks to the Senate and the House, the faster you're there. Remember, the president's infrastructure bill has three provisions. One, provision is infrastructure. There's no disputing of the virtues of that. Number two, the second provision is climate. Well, that's where it stops for the Republicans. The Republicans have said, we're giving you 0 pennies for climate. The third part is taxes. And that's to support the raising of money for climate. Well, the Republicans says we're not going to do that. The president over the remainder of this week will likely continue to hear bipartisan negotiations, but is likely to not reach an agreement. You don't want an agreement ultimately because bipartisanship doesn't give you a stimulus check. It is reconciliation. The process to get the fourth stimulus checks in there is when the House members and the Senate members put it in there. They put it in there during the reconciliation process. And now you have that incredible win just a few days ago to have an extra recon process. We now can have recons throughout the rest of this year. It's important to get this bill to the Senate as quickly as possible. Now, in the days that come, it's important for you to get rent, utilities, food, and internet, which are available right now. Mortgage assistance is available right now, and also homeowners assistance like utility bills as well. But forced stimulus for purposes needs to go by a reconciliation path. It needs to go by a vote-a-rama, and it needs to go soon with 21 of 50 Democrats wanting you to get it. What a big day it is. The president debuted a new orchestrated, manufactured publicity video today, staged to address the American people and express the need to pass his bill. Let's listen to the new video from the president.
By thinking big, doing it together. We built the interstate highway system. We went to the moon. But then we stopped. Since the 1980s, public domestic investment has fallen substantially. What do we have to show for it? Crumbling bridges and roads, millions of Americans without safe drinking water, and an internet barely available to the huge swath of the country. Last week, I released the American Jobs Plan, and I want to talk about it for a few minutes with you. But first, I want to talk to you about why investing in our country matters. When we've invested in America, in innovation, we've been rewarded beyond imagination. Take the space race. Now, everybody knows we went to the moon. It was an achievement not just for our country, but for the world. Our investment yielded a return far greater than landing on the moon. Baby food, digital camera sensors, airplane wing designs, satellites, all of these things came out of the money spent on space research. When we invested in the interstate highway system, we changed the way people travel and how we lived. Suddenly, a family could visit anyone across the country in a station wagon. A business in Pittsburgh could ship things more efficiently across the country to Portland. Since then, research from the federal government has led to innovations like GPS, lithium batteries, the technology behind the very phone you might be watching this on. I raise these things not to have government take credit. Lots of brilliant people in the public and private sector have contributed to our country's progress. But that's the point. The worst thing you can do is bet against the ingenuity of the American people. When we stop investing in research, infrastructure, and jobs of the future, you can bet someone else will do that investment we're not doing. For too long, America has been falling back. The rest of the world is closing in and closing in on us fast. I'm asking you not just to support the bill in Congress or a government program. I'm asking you to imagine a world where you and your family can travel coast to coast without a single tank of gas or on board a high-speed train. Imagine being able to connect to high-speed, affordable, reliable internet wherever you live. Imagine a future where we lead the world and tackle the looming threat of climate change and with American jobs and ingenuity. This isn't a hypothetical proposition. This is a plan. It can happen. It's my American Jobs Plan, and you can check it out on my website. This moment in the economy calls for America, not just the private sector, but the public sector, all of us to do our part. This can be a moment that America wins the future. It's going to take every American to get there. So let's do big things, think big. There's nothing beyond our capacity.
And there you go. The rollout of the video is actually quite interesting because if you recall, when we looked at the third stimulus package, there weren't these type of videos ahead of time. There was literally no publicity push from the president ahead of time. They just did it quickly, and then after it was passed, then you saw the publicity videos. This time around, he's front-loading. He's doing the publicity videos before he even has the bill. We have not even seen the bill. So it's very different. And you certainly see the orchestration of the videos. They are very campaign-like videos. They sort of conjure up the Reagan-type presidential campaign videos of the 1980s that had these sort of sweeping America the Beautiful, reinventing and reimagining how we can grow as a society type videos. One thing missing in there, actually two things missing in those videos, were the following. Did you hear anything in that video about climate? No. Did you hear anything in that video about taxes? No. All it talked about was clearly infrastructure, which no one disputes. It left out, again, the issue of dispute, and that ultimately will push for reconciliation. Climate. Climate is your e-ticket for those multiple stimulus checks, but also heating up this today was Coinbase. Coinbase delivered incredible, surprising details, and it's part of the new expanding coverage on this channel of cryptocurrency and Wall Street and currents, and also the securities market. I'll have more about what's happening and also the EIDL grant and the student loan debt forgiveness coming up after this commercial break. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LA with big, exciting, great details. And guess what? I have a surprise for you for tonight. No, we're not giving away some coins. I'm proud to announce that Sirloin is launching a new cryptocurrency called Cow Coin. Kawa coin. You can only get it at the casino. They're mining for it in the lawn. They're grazing in the lawn, the cows, to find the Kawa coin. And you can trade in your Kawa coin to buy a Kawalak or a Cowpuccino at the casino. So it's a new crypto called the Kawa coin, and I hope it's not a joke. It's really serious, and it's just as serious as Dogcoin. So I hope you consider adding Kawa coin to your portfolio in the near future. Thank you for joining me on Evenings LA. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. The big exciting news also developing today is that a lot of business items have now gone live. The EIDL grant, the remainder of the $10,000 EIDL grant from 2020, you're getting the invites now. This channel can exclusively report who's getting it and who's not getting it. The answer is there's no organization to it. It's not coming in chronological order. It is not. It's not coming for one group before another. It's just not. It's just randomly coming. I have viewers who are in the same city, one person getting it who applied in July and before someone who applied in March. The EIDL grant was open in March and April and May of 2020, and then reopened in June. They're first reaching out to low-income-based community businesses first, and then everyone else after that. Meantime, the Shuttered Venue Grant is now gone live. The Restaurant Grant is about to go live. And also the PPP grant has been extended to go live as well by executive order. There is no grant to start a new business. Biden did not put that into the third stimulus package. Meantime, also heating up is student loan debt forgiveness is likely to be announced tomorrow or the day after. I've been reporting. That's the $50,000 of student loan debt forgiveness by executive order. The president, his education secretary, has been given the instruction to come back with that determination. And boy, that determination is due tomorrow or Friday. So very exciting news. I'm really anxious to see that statement and that memo. Meantime, today Wall Street embraced and saw a turning of the tides. The turning of the tides was the first major cryptocurrency IPO ever. The company at issue is called Coinbase. And what is Coinbase and why should you understand this? It's important to understand where the financial markets are going and what is the current horizon and the further horizon. It's important to understand that cryptocurrency still represents a very small fraction of American investment, but it's still in what many would call its infancy. So what is Coinbase and how should you understand this? It's a very simple concept. It's just a place where you buy and sell coins, cryptocurrency. It's just a place where you buy and sell it. What is it similar to? It's sort of similar to a Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab, you go to Charles Schwab and you buy and sell some stocks and then you make some money. That's the concept of it. So how does Coinbase make money? It makes money every time you buy something or you sell something, or you transfer something or you convert something. It's based upon transactional fees. It's a transactional business like Schwab or E-Trade. So what are the risks associated to a Coinbase type business? The risks are very obvious. It's a transactional based business that makes money only on people buying and selling the transactions based upon the fees. They make less money fees if there's less transactions or the value of the transactions go down. Cryptocurrency could go down in the later parts of this year. I'll get to that second. And also, it could be undercut by competitors who offer the same services at a cheaper fee. That's what happened with Charles Schwab and E-Trade and all the online discount brokers just a few months ago. Remember? They used to charge one fee, and then someone came up with the idea, let's give it away for free. Let's not charge anything for it for a transactional fee. They had to compete, and so they all slashed it from fee to no fee. So could that happen here? Well, it already has. Several competitors who have yet to go public but have already filed for IPO do propose to offer the same services that Coinbase does for free. So is that a risk? It is a risk. It is a risk when their only business model is a transactional model. Today, Coinbase detail themselves as the Google of cryptocurrency. Not a very accurate description because why? Google does a lot of different things in one universe. It does everything from a map to software to search, to advertising. They have a lot of different business models. In fact, it would take almost 2 videos, 3 videos to cover all their business models. Coinbase has only one business model, and that is that transactional model. Hence, one of the risks is the competitors coming to market and coming to IPO, like a Robinhood, which is just upon the horizon, and offering the same service for free. And that is a clear risk for the situation. The transactional model is not something someone could survive at. They would need to diversify. And that's generally what companies do when they do an IPO is they come up with the revenue, they come up with the investment from the initial public offering, and they go into other businesses. That's what Facebook did when they had their successful IPO years ago. All right, so what are the risks of a Coinbase or anything for cryptocurrency currently right now? Cryptocurrency usually goes in waves and tides. It is yet to go into its valley or its slump yet this year. That slump, many believe, may be in the summer, and then the winter will be the surge. This is what you need to know, is that cryptocurrency is a very volatile industry. It generally goes up 30% and then down 30%. For every period it goes up, it goes down much volatile. It's not like a stock. Stocks generally have a trending line that you can watch. And the trending line is tied to economies of scale, trade issues, internal operations, and profitability. And you could generally see where that trend line goes. With cryptocurrency, the whole crypto market generally ebbs and flows, high and low, very volatile, and generally does at least once a year. So is there another valley, another slump, another crash about to come in cryptocurrency? Absolutely. So a lot of people have been actually getting out of cryptocurrency, or what they call dollar out cash averaging, to prepare for the exit before the next rally. What will the next rally be? Many insiders and many analysts are now predicting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin to double end of this year, to double in valuation. But first, it's going to lose about 30% of its value. So it's very volatile. And so when would that dip come? No one knows when a dip is going to come. No one's going to know when a crash is going to come. But it's important to understand that a dip is going to come, and it could be severe, upwards of 30%. And then comes the winter surge, or the surge shortly thereafter. So what does Coinbase do? It allows you to buy, sell, and convert cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and about 50 others. It's part of our expanded coverage now on this channel of cryptocurrency and also about the security markets. It's important to understand how things work and understand what is the platform upon the issue. Yesterday, I talked to you about how something called reopening plays were hurt by Johnson & Johnson. I talked to you about Carnival Cruises and Norwegian and Marriott and Hilton. And I also talked to you about how there was a push back into the FANG stocks. Here's what you need to know when we're talking about the securities markets and whether that impacts cryptocurrency or not. During the lockdown, people stayed at home. So because they were not going out or couldn't go out because of lockdowns, they couldn't go into a department store like a Ross or a Kohl's. They couldn't go into the store initially until they eventually started to reopen. And so when they started to reopen, that's what's called reopening plays. You couldn't take a cruise. You sometimes wouldn't travel the way you wanted to travel. And so the reopening plays refers to businesses that will be able to see a surge as America starts to reopen. The concept is generally that people will get out of lockdown stocks and get into reopening play stocks as the economy resurges. But it's important to understand a couple of issues at hand. First, that the resurgence may not necessarily cause a downturn of the technology stocks. There's been a lot of talk about getting out of FANG stocks, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google, and going into those reopening plays. But that's not necessarily what happens. Meantime, it's also important to understand that we know little about what's going on with the Johnson & Johnson situation, and it still is needed to play out, and that until it's played out, we'll still need to see a little bit more about the situation. The White House released a new video today from Dr. Fauci explaining his reaction to the Johnson & Johnson situation. Let's listen to that video.
Today, the CDC and FDA announced that they are calling a pause on the administration of the J&J vaccine for COVID-19 due to a small number of adverse events. It was seen in 6 out of the 6.85 million people who've been vaccinated, and out of an abundance of caution, they've called a pause on the administration. There are a couple of reasons to do that. The first is to investigate this a bit further, and the second is to alert the clinicians out there when someone comes in with these types of symptoms to ask them if they have a history of a recent vaccination. The people who've already gotten the vaccine should not be worried because, as I mentioned, this is a very rare event, 1 in more than 1 million individuals. The J&J vaccine has been shown in clinical trials to be highly efficacious. What we're talking about now has nothing to do with the efficacy of the vaccine. The federal government is working with the distributors of this vaccine to see if we can expedite getting appointments to get an alternative vaccine, namely either the Pfizer or the Moderna vaccine. Over 120 million people have received at least 1 dose of the vaccines. Out of that 120 million, only a small proportion, 6.85 million, are J&J. All the rest are either Moderna and Pfizer. There have been no signals that there's any concern about adverse events among those tens of millions of people. Absolutely, you should get vaccinated. The danger of COVID-19 as a disease clearly, overwhelmingly outstrips any risk of an adverse event from a vaccine.
A very, very helpful video that explains the situation in very simple terms. Hopefully, people see this video as well. Thank you for joining me. What a big night it has been, and I have some more exciting details for you as well. Guess who's back tonight? Yes, the Scarf Lady. The Scarf Lady is back tonight. Javita LALATE is back with another doubleheader tonight. She misses you dearly, and she has brought her scars. She was off in the Tahitian villas in the full, 120-degree weather, just beautiful weather, wearing 7 scarves because it's pretty cool. You need to wear extra scarves in that heat. But she is back with a doubleheader tonight. So join me for Javita LALATE at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Central Time. Doubleheader. It is 2 shows, 30 minutes after each other. Jump into the first show and it teleports you to the second show. It's teleporting. It's like the Jetsons, just with better ice cream. Meantime, if you have not invested in Cow-A-Coin, consider grazing over to the Cow Casino, and they will be maybe giving it away every time you buy a 12-pack of $12 ice cream. Thank you for joining me on a big night of Evenings LALATE. I will look forward to seeing you tonight on Javita LALATE. And meantime, if you have not said hi in this video, say hi as well. Stay informed, stay focused. Make sure you go to the Fun's channel and subscribe. It's our 1-year anniversary, and I want to get us to 400,000 subscribers. Let's do it. And also, like this video. Let's try to do 2,000-3,000 likes. Consider becoming a member. Purple Power, Calcino VIP, or Purple Hawk. Stay informed, stay focused, stay LA for more.